fall. When you're on the floor, you can't fall. You're already down there. You know what I mean?
When you're on the floor, you can't fall. And that is also a great tagline for this show.
Whew. I don't know about you, but I need a drink. Hi, welcome to Drinking with Dory. It's me, Dory. Oh, what am I drinking? This is Toganidze's Kakuri Mitzvane. It is a skin contact wine from the country of Georgia, not the state. And for those who don't know what skin contact wine is, it sounds sexual, and that's because it is. But also, it's basically just like white wine that was made as if it was a red wine. So they keep the skins on the grapes a little bit longer. It's also my favorite skin contact wine, but I'm wearing it because Toganidze's Togo. Tees for Togo. Ooh, yes, tees for Togo. Each shirt sold sends a girl to school for 1 year in Togo, West Africa. And this one has Kathleen Hanna on it, but there's a bunch of different people that you can buy. And so just go and do that. What else should you care about? My guests for tonight, an all ladies lineup. Ladies night. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We have artist, writer, free spirit goddess, and also just happens to be my cousin, Priscilla Frank, everyone. Welcome in.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, you're so sparkly and gorgeous. Next up, we have a photographer, a graphic artist, and a stunning creative mind. It's Soukayna Dang. Did I say your last name right?
It's pronounced Jang, but you know.
I should have asked you beforehand.
It's okay.
So sorry. Jang. Professional dancer, choreographer, and Vogue the House Down Boots queen, Frida Persson. Welcome.
Hi. Hey.
Priscilla, darling. What you drinking on?
I am drinking a pastis.
The sweeter, fancier French cousin of absinthe.
It won't f you up quite as much because you put in like a little shot of pastis and then you fill the rest of the cup up with water.
When was the first time you had this? Like, were you raised on this?
No, I have an uncle on my mom's side who is French, and he drank it once, and that was a dinner that I definitely did want to get drunk at. It was good.
Soukayna, what you drinking on?
Okay, please don't laugh.
No, I will.
Well, let me just say the name first. It's a wHiTeCLaW margarita spritzer, and it has tequila, it has grapefruit wHiTeCLaW, and the lemon, you know, add a little pizzazz, but it didn't really do that much.
Frida,
Yes.
what you drinking on?
So I'm drinking glögg, which is a Swedish Christmas holiday drink. And it's basically like hot wine, I would say, like red wine. We like to put like raisins and like nuts and all these good stuff in it. And then you sit with a spoon and you just like drink and eat a lot.
It's
really
wine
great.
soup.
Yeah, it's hard to find here in New York. Like you could find like the kids version here because there is a kids version.
There's a kids version.
There's a kids version. You can buy it at IKEA.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Get your kids drunk on glögg and buy a nice couch. Let's get into it. Priscilla, my darling, you make a bunch of art. It's gorgeous. You make puppets, and you also make cornography called corn smut.
Corn smut, otherwise known as cornography, otherwise known as erotica, is a series of cartoony drawings of corns, getting it on in hundreds of variations.
What do you think these corn characters drink to like kind of get in the mood?
A corn's light.
Wow. Just drink like weird light beer. Soukayna, Frida, any suggestions on what these corns should be drinking to like, you know, get that ear into the...
I mean, there's nothing water can't do.
They use a lot of butter to like lube up. That is a fact.
Speaking of lubing up, Frida, You are just such a brilliant dancer. Do you feel sometimes like you perform better or worse if you've had a couple in you?
Definitely worse.
Yeah?
Yes. Like if I get like even like 2.5 glasses of wine, I'm jumping a little too much. I mean, I'm jumping other ways too, but it's a lot of floor work.
Not to blow up your spot, Soukayna.
Yeah.
But you did recently turn a very ripe age of 24. But that means that legally, you haven't been drinking for very long. What has been your most memorable drinking moment to date when you were like, this is legit right now?
I was somewhere in Midtown and I had one too many glasses of red wine and then I had a whiskey pickleback. That was like my first blackout moment. I wouldn't say it was necessarily positive, but I was like, whoa, like this shit is real.
New York, concrete jungle, where dreams are made of.
I come from a super like conservative family, so I just never wanted to mess with that.
So mom doesn't drink, dad doesn't drink.
Yeah, hopefully they don't see this because
yes, drinking with Dory, not for parents. But, someone who does know my parents is Priscilla. One of the most fascinating things about you is that you are a death doula.
So the group that I volunteer with, they prefer to call it the end of life doula.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's basically an organization that matches New Yorkers with people who are at the end of their lives. And you visit them once a week and you just kind of form a relationship and it's really open.
When I think about people ending their life, sometimes I think about like the Smucker's Alta Cocker review that they do on the Today Show, where like it's someone's turning 100 and they're like, the key to a happy life is 2 fingers of bourbon a day. Have you come across any elderly folk who subscribe to like weird drinking theories for a happy, healthy life?
I've only been visiting the same woman since I started the program. Her name's Evgenia. She lives in Crown Heights and she's like an old Russian Jewish lady. She does not drink anymore, but I bet back in the day she took down a lot of vodka.
Yeah, she's Russian. Frida is in the Royal House of LaBeija. You go to Vogue balls pretty often, I'd say. Well, pre times. What is the drink situation at a ball these days?
The drinks are usually kind of expensive, I would say, but people drink, definitely. A lot of them are also like performing, so everybody's into that because a lot of people have like 10 costume changes. People drink, but like they don't get like wasted if they're gonna perform.
It's just so different than like what I do when I feel like I need to perform, but what I do is so completely different. It's not physical. It's all fart jokes and like Soukayna, I want to personally thank you because you were part of the Art of Freelance group that helped birth the show. You also birthed a project of your own called Libertas, which has a great focus on models and women from the African diaspora. And it's gorgeous and funky and beautiful and just like, I love it so much. Have you been to Africa before?
Yeah, I have. I've been there in my life, mostly, between the ages of like 11 to 16.
So like you don't have any crazy party stories?
No, and also it's a pretty conservative country, so alcohol and strippers and all that kind of stuff is just not a thing. Not that I'm I go to strip clubs, but I'm just saying in general.
You said specifically strippers, now I'm like, were you hoping there were strippers?
I mean like bottle girls, the club scene, strippers, all that kind of jazz.
Let's wrap this up. What are we cheersing to / plugging?
We cheers to soon be back in the studio and throw ourselves on the floor and dance.
With Fab Habits, yes?
Yes, Fab Habits, that's right.
It's a bunch of sexy, built ladies just like sexing it up, and they do like a little of this.
Very much like that.
How do you say cheers in Swedish?
Skål.
Skål.
Skål. Yeah.
Soukayna, what are we cheersing to / plugging?
Being healthy and safe. We are plugging in my Instagram by Soukayna. Hello, just check it out. Good work on there.
Priscilla, what are we cheersing to / plugging?
If anyone wants to look at some dirty corn pictures, it's on Instagram. But please don't report me because it's just not for everyone. So if you don't think that sounds fun for you, don't go.
And also, like, if you don't think that sounds fun, why are you watching this right now? Because it very much tracks with the viewership of the show. So, like, you're lost, and I think you should get them. I'm cheersing to all of you luscious, beautiful people for watching. I'm cheersing to these luscious, beautiful ladies. I'm cheersing to this. I love skin contact wine, and it gets me lit. Follow the Instagram. It is at DRANKIN with Dory, and I hope to see you at the next one. So this has been DRANKIN with Dory, and I'm Dory.